Chapter 26. The Hollow's Hunger. The Bloodwild's crimson dusk pressed against Dylan Wade like a living thing, its air thick with the stench of rot and a cloying sweetness that clung to his throat. He staggered through a maze of black slick trees, their branches clawing at the bruised sky, their violet leaves pulsing with an alien rhythm. His concussion was a dull hammer, splintering his thoughts, smearing the jungle into a fevered blur where shadows seemed to writhe with intent. He was a wreck, ribs aching, knee crusted with blood, hands burned by acid sap. But his legs kept moving, driven by a raw need to survive. Alone, utterly cut off, he had no map, no dagger, only a desperate hope to find a village, a road, anything to lead him back to Veyr, Zariel, Lyss, and Arla. The jungle's drone was a relentless wail, not sound but pressure, burrowing into his bones, and something ancient, vast, and wrong hunted him, a presence that made the air itself feel like a trap. He ducked under a curtain of vines, their tips dripping green fire that hissed on the red-veined earth. The veil, dogged his steps, its rustle a shadow that never faded, its form flickering at the jungle's edge, tall, fluid, a weave of thorned vines and starless voids, not a creature but a wound in reality. Its whispers slithered into his mind, a cold weight, not words, but urges. Surrender, marked one. Your light is ours. Dylan's heart pounded, his starry scars itching faintly, a reminder of Calith and Vaughn, but also of this thing's hunger, tied to his presence in a place no mortal should tread. He wasn't meant to be here, in this profane hollow where even the gods' gaze faltered, and the jungle knew it, bending to the veil's will, paths looping, trees closing in. A clearing opened, abrupt and unnatural, its ground a carpet of bones, skulls, ribs, some human, some not, arranged in spirals that twisted his gut. A totem loomed at the center, a gnarled column of vine and bone topped with a skull, its eye sockets glowing a sickly green, not alive but aware, a relic of something older than Eryndor's mountains. The drone spiked, a chorus of voices chanting in a tongue that clawed his soul, and Dylan's scars flared, a sudden heat. A star-shatter vision struck, vines writhing in a crimson void, a pulsing core where stars bled, a hiss. We were before the gods, we are the end. He reeled, the bones seeming to shift, their runes pulsing, as if the clearing itself was the veil's altar, its hunger woven into the earth. The veil emerged, not stepping but unfolding, its thorned limbs stretching, its voids swallowing light. Dylan grabbed a jagged bone, its edge sharp, and swung, a raw cry tearing from his throat. The strike passed through shadow, the creature rippling unharmed, its whispers a roar. Feed us your light. He bolted, the jungle blurring, vines lashing his face, the ground trembling as if it breathed. The veil pursued, gliding, its form splitting, now ahead, now beside, thorns snagging his tunic, drawing blood. His isolation was a blade, no Veyr's steel, no Zariel's wisdom, no Lyss's fire, only him, small, human, a speck against a hunger, born when the universe was chaos, before Calith wove light or Vaughn carved voids. He slid into a ravine, its walls a cage of roots, their glowing tips pulsing like eyes. The veil's presence thickened, the air cold, the drone a scream. He clutched the bone, useless but heavy, and scrambled through crimson water, the concussion warping his senses. Trees seemed to whisper, their roots coiling to snare him. The veil struck, a thorned claw, slashing his shoulder, icy, stealing breath. He fell, blood seeping, the whispers a chant, pulling at his will, his memories, his coastal town, the gas station's hum, his mother's faded voice. Fraying as if the creature devoured his past. His scars burned, tying him to this horror, to a truth older than gods. The Veyr was the Bloodwild's soul, a force that fed on life, its altars a trap for the marked. Dylan's heart roared raw, defiant. He wasn't Veyr's killer, wasn't Zorath's sage, but he was alive. He tore a root free, its glowing sap searing his hand, the pain a spark. He thrust it at the Veyr, its light flaring, and the creature recoiled, its voids flickering, a fleeting wound. He ran, the ravine collapsing, roots snapping, the Veyl's wail shaking the air. Another clearing, smaller, bones scattered, and the Veyr was there, towering, its thorns a cage. He swung the root, its glow fading, and dodged a claw that tore the earth, blood pooling red. His legs buckled, concussion and blood loss dragging him down, the drone a weight, the whispers a plea. Be eternal. A shout, human, distant, pierced the wail, a faint lifeline. Veyr, Zeriel, a trick Dylan didn't know, but it was enough. He rolled, dodging a thorned strike, and crawled toward the sound, the Veyl's wail rising, its hunger cheated. The jungle's crimson heart pulsed, its horror unending, and Dylan, scarred and broken, fought to survive, a spark in the void, the Veyl's shadow clawing at his heels.